So, music aside for the moment, we're gonna go back into the streamer university side of the world. Now it's finna get controversial. I don't mind a little controversy. Plaqueboy Max. Let me see how deep I wanna take this. See how deep I wanna take this. And again, this is one of these clips that I'd be lying if I said I didn't already watch. Now, let me give this disclaimer. I fuck with Max heavy. Heavy as fuck. Deeper than I feel like I can talk about, as far as I know what's going on behind the scenes with bro ass. So with that being said, when bro went on his hiatus and came back, he didn't necessarily have the persona that he has now, and that could be for multiple reasons. I'm gonna let that be for the eye of the beholder. But in this situation, he's getting called out for the same thing that everybody was thinking. And I'm all for unity, and I'm all for standing with somebody if they are generally feeling less than a person because of somebody hating on them. I'm one of the most open people ever. I'm one of the most accepting people ever. I don't believe in making anybody feel uncomfortable for no reason. I don't believe in make anybody feel like less of a man or less of a human being for any decision they make, unless they like a fucking weirdo doing some fucking harming somebody or something of that nature. But they're just being themselves, regardless of their sexual orientation or any of that. I don't believe in making them feel uncomfortable. But it's two sides to that. With all that I just said, it's a double-edged sword, because accountability is not always good. Sometimes you have to make somebody feel uncomfortable for them to realize that the decision that they just made may or may not been a really good decision, especially in this case. So with all that being said, I feel like the shit that Ojay says, let's get into the video, man. But I feel like the shit that Ojay said really came from the heart. Regardless of what you want to believe, how you want to stand on whatever side of the fence, good or bad, I really feel like what he said came from the heart. Like, because it wasn't like he was completely bashing them. He was just hitting you with facts. And I'm going to get more into it once we get into the video.
Take plastic dick type of game.
Yeah, diva. Why you wanna be a diva?
On some flash.
Why you wanna be a diva?
Some flash.
You're a demon. You need holy oil, right? You need to sit down in the holy oil. You need to go get a church bath and cleanse your body, right? I think you are confused. I think you need some guidance. I think your parents feel a little way about that. I think you're clip farming and you're getting your clips. You pushing the persona. You smart. You loyal. I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You've been at this. But you are not a diva. Divas bend over. I don't think you're...
So let me stop him right there and capitalize off the point that he was just finna make. He just said you've been like this. If you've been watching Max for a while, you know you always know that nigga always had like a sus side or whatever. That's nothing new. There's nothing new. It's just so, as much as recently the internet's been giving the hell for him wearing wigs and tatting the diva tattoo. One thing I would like to say about that is the great switch up. When it was clowning that nigga without there being a moral tied side to downing him or telling him to get right, whole internet was on his ass. Whole internet was on his ass. Whole internet clowning him, call him this, call him that, call him this, call him that. But when it comes to somebody actually trying to give him some real deal advice and tell him, hey, change this, now everybody want to act as if they weren't just clowning his ass a week ago. I feel like that's why Max got as emotional as he did, because he's been taking this shit since he got that tattoo. Now, the reason he got that tattoo could be from what Ojay is saying. He finna get into it. He's saying, well, let me play it. Let me play it.
Over. You're not the little boys in Clover. You're not Tota. You're not a diva. You are a grown man. Plaqueboy Max, not Plaqueboy Bati, not Plaqueboy R. Are you gonna tell your son that you are a diva? Daddy, what's diva? Hey, get the f out of here. That is an abomination, Max. I am not proud of you. I am proud of everything else you did. Nominations, changing the game, changing your skin to Bati, diva? Diva start with D. Diddy. What else? You know, it's like this, Max. And you know, I could speak like this because after the clips go up and they don't like me, I don't use social media no more, so I can be a crackhead for life. When you keep pushing that barrier, Max, when you keep pushing that barrier, and time passes, what happens? What next? What's the next engagement? What's the next clip? Don't lose yourself, don't sell your soul, Max.
Let me stop him right there. Hold up.
They want your soul because you changed the game. Don't sell your soul.
Let me stop him right there, man. So, with all that being said, going into what I was just saying, I feel like if he wanted to, if I really do feel like if OJ intention was to clown this nigga and get a clip, he wouldn't have looked this nigga square in the eyes. Look at the amount of eye contact. I feel like it takes a brother or somebody who really wants the your well-being or the best for you, or to at least check you and be like, hey nigga, you're right. I feel like take a real homeboy to do that. Now listen to the things she's saying. Prior to this, the entire internet was clowning him, wasn't giving him no type of advice, no motivation, wasn't even reminding him that he is who he is. Because nonetheless, he's Plaqueboy Max. And like he just said, he changed the game. Also, like he just said, they want your soul because you changed the game. Now, whatever your belief system is on how that soul shit work, it is what it is. But let's say it's just in an instance of morality, losing yourself for a price, losing your morals for a price. I should say he took the hiatus, so people minds will wonder. Anybody with anybody hip enough, woke enough, if you want to say, and see through that and make that assumption, which is why what I feel like OJ is on. But also, like I said, if you've been on Max, you know he been like more or less feminine. I genuinely feel like if Max was actually gay, you just need to say it. I feel like that's where a lot of the frustration coming from. I don't think that's just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where a lot of this frustration is coming from. And there's nothing wrong. It's 2026, nigga. It's equality. Ain't nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I mean, if you is, I'd be less of a Christian, less of a follower of God if I try to condemn somebody that's gay, but not give the same judgment to somebody that lies every day, or not give the same judgment to somebody that steals every day, or not give the same judgment to myself, who also got my own sins that I do on a daily basis. Because in the eyes of God, all sins is equal. So with that being said, I don't feel like you need to alienate somebody because if they were actually gay, I do feel like if it's strings attached to that being gay, and that's your homie, you got the right to check on him and be like, hey, you ran this shit up on yourself. You don't need no third party telling you need to do this in order to keep your bread, in order to make more bread, in order to get engagements. Nigga, you know how many people, you know how many artists never got nominated for a Grammy? My nigga just started making music. Nominated for a Grammy as a streamer. Breaking down barriers. Meeting with all types of famous people. I feel like that may or may not come with a price. I feel like OJ know that may or may not come with a price, which is why he may have felt obligated to do what he did. Now, oh shit, my lineup on Prize Pit just hit. Oh look, all right. So goddamn, I feel like genuinely, I feel like that's where the confusion lies. I feel like the whole internet is perceiving OJ as to be somebody who's looking down on Max because of the sexuality he's presenting. I don't think it's sexuality in general that he's looking down on for. Like I said earlier, in the rant I gave earlier, everybody streaming you was very, very open, regardless of sexual orientation, race, or religion. I feel like the world is coming together and accepting everybody, more or less when it matters. That's why when it matters. So I really don't think OJ was on his ass because he gay or like was doing things that portrayed him to be feminine. I genuinely think he did it because he know that his recent actions may or may not have come with a third party that's advising him to do this in order to gain something else. I genuinely do. Cause on some real nigga shit, knowing how me and some of my niggas are taught, if niggas was out of line and shit, like any man, look, he didn't break eye. OJ didn't break eye contact with his nigga once. Max is not making eye contact. That could be for many reasons. Many reasons. It could be for maybe he actually knows what's going on because it's him that's involved and OJ saying that shit and you don't want to face the truth. It could be that. Or it could be generally because no strings attached. He just really feel like being himself and expressing himself, and that come with being himself. So he tired of the world judging him. But I genuinely feel like the judgment he got from the rest of the internet last week compared to the speech that he just got to OJ, I feel like people are giving I feel like people are trying to use OJ as a scapegoat because the shit that he just told Max wasn't nowhere near as hurtful as the shit that the internet has been telling him. And if you've been paying attention to streaming, each individual streamer come up to him and start clowning him for that diva shit. So it wasn't just him. I don't like how people trying to alienate OJ. OJ was not the only nigga that brought up the whole diva shit. Everybody was saying little slit shit. So I feel like they're using bro as a scapegoat, to be real. I genuinely feel like they're using bro as a scapegoat. Because everybody was clowning bro for that shit. But nonetheless, Max is damn that flying that bitch. But anyway, nonetheless, Max is entitled to Max is a human being at the end of the day. Max is entitled to be in tune with his emotions. Max is entitled to do whatever the fuck he want. I can understand with that much pressure and that much negativity as a human being that should have get to you. So I don't look down on Max for reacting how he did, but I genuinely feel like that nigga took the message the wrong way. And one thing I can agree with is that that type of conversation could have really been had offline. I feel like that's where the discrepancy come in with it. I feel like he honestly could have had that conversation with him off stream. That's some real nigga shit. But you gotta also give an account like everything deserves context. So you gotta use the context of what's going on. All them niggas just came from the club drunk as shit. So to give some form of grace to OJ, he ain't seen this nigga in a minute. See his nigga, he got something on his mind that he want to tell his nigga, and now he's intoxicated. What people do when they drunk, majority of the time they tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? So to give some grace to OJ, I feel like he had that shit on his heart to tell him. Being that he might have been under the influence, it just came out how it came out on camera. It what it is. But all that to say, whatever Max is going through, I hope he gets over it because I'm generally a big fan of bro. I like every work he has. As far as what he's done for the streaming game, as far as what he's done for music, the underground, his creativity, hell, I'm a fan of bro. So hopefully gets the closure that he needs or the closure that he's seeking. Hopefully it's not as deep as I was explaining it earlier, which hopefully it's not that deep. I hope that nigga mentally gets okay. And if he's actually gay, the nigga just need to go ahead and be gay instead of like halfway being gay, nigga. He rich already. He gay. Yeah. But if that's not you, then don't, like he said, don't sell your soul. Don't go against your morals and try to portray something that goes against how you was raised and how you actually want to portray yourself. All in all, I hope the nigga Matt's alright, man. Hope he get his mental back on straight, start putting on content, cause you tell the internet shit don't really got to him. You tell that shit really got to him. This past couple months, this nigga's crashed out and cried on camera multiple fucking times. So I feel like, I don't know, man. There's probably some more shit deeper than what we know that's going on with it, man. But that's my take on it. I don't feel like Ojay was wrong for what he said. I feel like his timing was ass. And one thing I can agree with is that shit could have been said off camera. Shit could have definitely been said off camera. Being that it's a streaming university, so millions of people and billions of views all across the board. You gonna say that, then I can understand why Max feel like bro might have been clickbaiting. So I hate that for bro. Honestly do. Honestly hate that for bro. And yeah, man. One thing I do push for though is like no matter what, no matter who you is, I do push for or really admire when people can be themselves fully in any situation, man. And in life in general, I admire when people I admire when people allow people to fully be themselves. That's why I fuck with New York City a whole lot, man. Like, cause everybody's accepted. You know what I'm saying? Despite anything, nobody feels out of place. You know what I'm saying? So I really fuck with that, and I really advocate that, regardless of what you own, regardless of how I believe, what you believe, what's that. At the end of the day, we all made in God's image. Nobody's bigger than nobody else. Money aside, status aside, at the end of the day, we still gotta answer to God. Love it or hate it. We don't gotta answer to each other. So therefore, I don't see a need in tearing somebody down purposely for them being themselves. But I also see a need to check your homie if he doing some shit that's out of his body, especially if it comes with a price. You dig what I'm saying? That's my entire take on this. I fuck with both of them as creators. Shout out Max. Really love that nigga music. Really love that nigga shit. And like I said earlier, man, I hope he gets the closure he needs. Whatever's actually going on, because at the end of the day, we all viewers. Me even talking about this shit is a form of parasocialism. But me being as analytical as I am, we got the internet. It's being displayed, so that's my opinion on what I'm seeing. Hope the nigga is better, man, because I really like seeing Max at his peak. And like I said, if he gay, so be it. Nigga, just be gay. Go ahead and be gay. Don't be halfway gay, but yeah, what it is. Hope he gets what he needs. So for the next segment, let's go NBA trade. Dog.